In today's video, we'll be exploring 10 surprising facts about Ukraine Part 2. Other than what we've learned about its ongoing conflict with Russia, many people don't know too much about Ukraine. But despite its current conflict, Ukraine has so much to offer. Now, if you haven't seen our Part 1 video for 10 surprising facts about Ukraine, I definitely recommend taking a look at that video on our channel after watching this one, of course, as it's packed with even more must-know facts about this beautiful country and its people. Welcome back to FTD Facts. I'm Sarah Carvalho, and in honor of Ukraine, we bring you this Part 2 video on 10 surprising facts about Ukraine. All right, getting right into it. Fact number 10, is it Ukraine or the Ukraine? Now, there are some common misunderstandings as to whether the country is referred to one or the other. So let's clear that up right now. The use of the Ukraine is officially disapproved of by the Ukrainian government and many English language media publications. This means that Ukraine is the official full name of the country as stated in its Declaration of Independence and its constitution. That means there's no other words being added there. So in 1993, the Ukrainian government requested that the country be called just Ukraine rather than the Ukraine. U.S. Ambassador William Taylor, who knew that the addition of the word the before the country's name was actually considered insulting by many Ukrainians, he agreed that using the word the implied a disregard for the country's sovereignty. So, no more the Ukraine, just Ukraine. So since we're talking about Ukraine's Declaration of Independence, it was also interesting to note that Ukraine is one of the younger countries in the world, having officially declared itself an independent nation on August 24th, 1991, when the Communist Supreme Soviet or Parliament of Ukraine proclaimed that Ukraine would no longer follow the laws of the USSR and only the laws of the Ukrainian SSR, de facto declaring Ukraine's independence from the Soviet Union. So technically, independent Ukraine is just a few months younger than I am. That's pretty cool. All right, this next one might blow your mind, or maybe not, but chicken KIEV is not from Kyiv. Contrary to popular belief, the delicious breaded and stuffed chicken breast dish is not from Kyiv. In fact, there are several beliefs in regards to its origins. While some believe that it was created in the Russian Empire, others have suggested that it was created in France by Russian chefs and then became assimilated into Russian culture under the name côtelette de volaille. It was then renamed chicken KIEV by New York restaurants trying to appease their Russian clientele in the 20th century. I guess Americans didn't like the sound of chicken France, chicken Russia, or chicken New York. Okay, moving on to something a little bit more somber, we're going to be talking about Chernobyl. For those of you who didn't know, Ukraine was at the heart of one of the biggest catastrophes of the 20th century when the Chernobyl nuclear power plant reactor number 4 exploded on April 26, 1986, leaving a once thriving community completely destroyed and having to be abandoned. The effects of the explosion were felt far and wide, including many nearby countries that were drastically impacted by the after effects. For anyone interested, the events of this disaster have actually been dramatized in a recent HBO series titled Chernobyl. I've actually watched the series, and I have to say it did a really outstanding but brutally honest job of demonstrating what the experience would have been like for people who really lived it. So maybe consider checking it out if you're interested. Let's start talking a little bit about culture with the Ukrainian Easter eggs. Ukrainian Easter egg decorating is an important art form and tradition that dates back centuries. Known as pisanka, these Ukrainian Easter eggs are decorated using the wax-resist batik method. Creating these precious eggs takes focus and attention to detail, but the results are stunning works of art. After designs are drawn in pencil around the raw egg, it's hollowed out by drilling a small hole in the top and bottom and letting the yolk and whites seep out. Wax is then applied across the drawn lines with a tool called the kitska, and the egg is dipped in the first dye. Wax is then continuously added, and the egg is continuously dipped in different colors to achieve the desired design. Once dry, the wax is melted off with a candle, revealing the colorful patterns. Pisanka are then varnished to preserve them before being displayed on special stands. Now, as a child, I actually visited a Ukrainian church during Easter time and had the joy of trying to make my very own pisanka. It was a wonderful experience to celebrate the tradition of another country and culture. Now, mine were not nearly as detailed as these, but hey, I tried. Up at number 5, we're going to be talking about some food, Ukrainian borscht. In Ukraine, borscht is one of the most popular traditional dishes. It is also super healthy and nutritious and eaten very regularly by families. If you don't know, borscht is a deep red colored beet soup with cabbage, potatoes, carrots, onion, garlic, dill, and usually meat and beans if you like. When served, it is topped with a dollop of sour cream and a slice of rye bread. Interestingly, there are many variations of the Ukrainian borscht recipe because, get this, even within the same family, everyone can make it slightly different according to their own specific liking. And continuing on the topic of food, we have VARENYKY. Sticking to the topic of the most traditional dishes, of course, we cannot forget to talk about the delicious VARENYKY, which are Ukrainian stuffed dumplings. These Ukrainian half-moon shaped stuffed dumplings can be sweet or savory, served boiled or fried, garnished with fried onions, and served with sour cream or served plain. There are a handful of traditional VARENYKY fillings. For a savory version, you can use potato, ground meat, cooked cabbage, mushrooms, or farmer cheese, also known as quark. As for sweet fillings for breakfast or dessert, sour cherries and sweetened farmer cheese are popular. Now, of course, these characteristics vary regionally and based on individual family traditions, but no matter sweet or savory, boiled or fried, they taste amazing and are definitely a must try. Now that we've talked about some of the top dishes, we have to talk about some of the more popular drinks as well. Ukrainians love drinking horilka, which is a local variant of the famed vodka. What is interesting, though, is that locals often flavor this national drink with chili pepper to give it more of a punch. Locals also enjoy drinking stewed fruit or compote, which is a non-alcoholic sweet beverage. It is prepared by cooking different types of fruits, such as gooseberries, rhubarb, strawberries, apples, and sour berries, among others. The drink is often flavored using spices and particularly popular in the winter months when it is served hot. All right, this might be no surprise to some of you. I mentioned it a little bit in our last video. Ukraine is home to beautiful women. Now, while the country is known for many things, it is clearly also known for being home to, get this, some of the boldest and most beautiful women in the world. The women of Ukraine are storied to be almost Amazon-like because of their renowned height and strong physiques. Now, what they are in reality, however, are tall and picturesque beauties, and more than a few have graced the pages of publications like Vogue and Prada. Now, according to Reader's Digest, you'll find the most beautiful women in KIEV, for those of you that are interested. And all the way down to number 1 today, we're talking about some of the most cafes in the world. I was very surprised to read about just how much Ukrainians love their coffee. In fact, the city of Lviv is home to the highest number of cafes per capita in the world. It boasts up to 1,500 establishments, many of them with their own special themes and unique atmospheres. As a coffee lover myself, I will most definitely be stopping there one day to sample as many of the coffee variations as I can handle before the caffeine starts to hit me. All right, friends, this brings us to the end of today's video on 10 surprising facts about Ukraine part 2. I hope you enjoyed today's video as much as I did. Let me know in the comments below which of today's facts about Ukraine surprised you the most. Also, on your way out, please give us a like and subscribe to show us your love, and we will see you right here next time for more facts. See ya.